Welcome to our deep dive into Isis Unveiled, where we explore the unnumbered introductory chapter, Before the Veil. Blavatsky opens this monumental work by setting the stage for a spiritual revolution against the dominant powers of her time. Blavatsky notes that for 19 centuries, the divine light of Christianity has claimed to dispel the darkness of heathenism, while for 2.5 centuries, the bright lamp of modern science has supposedly illuminated the ignorance of the ages. Despite these claims of progress, Blavatsky argues that the public remains in a state of profound bewilderment, caught between these two conflicting titans, science and theology. Blavatsky pulls no punches in her critique of theology, pointing toward Rome as a seat of power where social order is undermined for the sake of spiritual and temporal supremacy. She observes a theological landscape so distorted that a well-known preacher once remarked that if Jesus returned to the streets of New York, he would likely be imprisoned. Simultaneously, Blavatsky challenges the exact sciences of the 19th century, specifically citing figures like Tyndall, who claimed that science would eventually wrest the entire domain of cosmological theory away from theology. The result of this tug-of-war is a public that is fast losing all belief in a deity and personal immortality, rapidly descending to the level of a mere animal existence. To navigate this chaos, Blavatsky adopts a defined motto for her work: I accept unreservedly the views of no man, living or dead. Blavatsky rejects the despotic authority exercised by both the reactionist clergy and the materialistic scientists over the public conscience. Amidst the tottering ruins of these failing systems, Blavatsky introduces spiritualism as an unexpected ghost of pre-Christian days that offers a potential last refuge of compromise. While she admits that spiritualism may appear uncouth or lame to the casual observer, Blavatsky argues that it is superior to its rivals because it offers tangible facts for investigation rather than dogmas that must be accepted on blind faith. Blavatsky asserts that her work is written in total sincerity to vindicate the achievement of a spoliated past, and to aid students in detecting the vital principles underlying ancient philosophies. Blavatsky identifies the Platonic philosophy as the only middle ground, capable of reconciling the rift between modern science and theology. Blavatsky contends that science and religion are twin truths that are powerful when unified but inherently weak when separated. To find this unity, she recounts her travels in the East, where she encountered sages of the Orient who possessed profound knowledge and mysterious powers. These sages taught Blavatsky that by combining science with religion, the existence of God and the immortality of the human spirit could be demonstrated with the same logical precision as a problem of Euclid. According to Blavatsky, this logical demonstration replaces blind faith with actual knowledge. She uses the analogy of a drop of water to explain the relationship between man and the divine. Just as a single drop proves the existence of a boundless ocean, the man-spirit serves as evidence for the God-spirit, or universal soul. If a human spiritual ego can control the forces of nature, then the capabilities of the Father-spirit must be relatively as much vaster as the entire ocean surpasses that single drop. Blavatsky further explains the triune nature of man, which consists of body, soul, and spirit. She draws heavily on the Platonic distinction between the nous, the immortal, purely divine spirit, and the psyche, the soul, which is of a separate and different nature. To illustrate this, she references the allegory of the chariot and winged steeds from the Phaedrus, where the psychical nature is described as composite and twofold, one part formed from the substances of the phenomenal world and the other essence linked to the eternal world. This philosophical system also recognizes a vast hierarchy of animated and thinking spiritual beings that inhabit every part of universal space. These include various classes of demons, or spirits, such as the elementals, nature spirits who reside in the elements of earth, air, fire, and water, and the elementaries, which are the disembodied souls of the depraved. Blavatsky describes the astral soul, or perisprit, as an impalpable duplicate of the external body, which is confined within the physical frame like ether in a bottle. Ultimately, Blavatsky views life as the result of two opposing forces reacting upon each other, an equilibrium maintained by the astral light. When these active and passive forces, positive and negative magnetism, come to a state of complete rest, the resulting condition is death. To ensure her readers have the proper tools for the journey ahead, Blavatsky concludes her introduction with a crucial glossary of terms designed to prevent any misunderstanding or misrepresentation of her ideas. Blavatsky defines magic not as a supernatural violation of natural law, but as the science of controlling nature, through a profound knowledge of its hidden forces. Central to this is the astral light, which she identifies physically as the ether of modern science, but metaphysically as the workshop of nature, where every thought and act is indelibly recorded. Blavatsky introduces the term akasha, the Sanskrit name for the life principle and the reservoir of all energy, that drives every change in matter. She makes a sharp distinction between the invisible beings that inhabit this medium. Elementals are defined as nature spirits belonging to the kingdoms of earth, air, fire, and water. They are forces of nature that never become men. On the other hand, elementaries are the disembodied souls of the depraved who have lost their connection to the divine spirit and remain earthbound, as vampires or malicious actors in spiritualistic circles. One of Blavatsky's primary objectives in this work is to correct the erroneous opinions surrounding the magic art, and to demonstrate that it was once a respected divine science. The overall plan of her work is to provide a comprehensive summary of the religions, philosophies, and universal traditions of humanity through the lens of the secret doctrine. Blavatsky aims to challenge the assumed infallibility of both modern science and theology by comparing their contemporary claims to the achievements of ancient sages. Blavatsky acknowledges that she is entering a fierce battle against materialism and dogmatism, which she calls the bastard progeny of history. She views her chapters as weapons gathered into an armory to prevent the crushing of spiritual aspirations. Expecting heavy opposition from Christians and scientists alike, Blavatsky ends her introduction with the defiant cry of the Roman gladiator entering the arena, Morituris te salutat. Those who are about to die salute you.